Man, oh man, I just finished up Dispatch episode 2 and there were some surprises there. Towards the ending of the second episode was phenomenal. The way the music hit and it started getting like zoom, zoom, zoom. It sounded like your world was about to be shattered. And I was just thinking of Phenomenon. And his fucking name is hard to pronounce, but I think it's supposed to be Phenomenon Man or something like that. And I was thinking about him because he was the main guy who appeared in the Dispatch computer, and he was the one who kind of gave you the tour. So he's clearly one of like the best superheroes there, one of like the main guys, but I hadn't seen him at all. And I was wondering where he was at and when he was going to appear. And that's kind of where my head was at when Mecha Man and Blonde Blazer were walking out. And then you see fucking Phenomenon Man coming down, and Blonde Blazer, tells Mecha Man that that's her boyfriend. Fucking shock. I mean, completely took me out of it. It was crazy. But this leads me to a specific topic that I wanted to mention on today's video. I had made a short. I made a very small short from one of my long form videos where we talked about Blonde Blazer flirting with Mecha Man. And I read it that way and I thought that's how it happened. But some people in the comments were telling me that it felt to them that Blonde Blazer was manipulating Mecha Man. She was manipulating him because she was up to something else. There was something that she was seeking, or there was a reason that she was treating him that way. Because if you look at it from the very beginning, from the moment you met her, she was very, very flirty. She realized that. She kind of said that to Mecha Man. And there was this like kind of air of flirtatiousness going on throughout the whole interaction with her. And it would have been weird for her not to know that that's what she was doing. You kind of know what I'm saying? And then you get Mecha Man kind of all into it. He starts falling for her. He gives her a kiss. And she could have said this whole time, hey, I'm dating Phenomenal Man, or whatever the fuck his name is. And they would have been fine. You could have understood from that point and then you would have let it go. But she never told you. So it led to a lot of people to discuss her true intentions. And honestly, if she is manipulating you, if there is a bigger thing, a conspiracy going on, and you're not just looking at it on the surface level, then that is very interesting. And it's going to make me very sad if something actually is going on, because I got duped, I got played, but I don't know yet. I don't know. And I'm not going to let that thinking kind of get into my head. So far from what I saw in episode 1 and episode 2, everything seems to be very legit. What I understood, I don't think that Blonde Blazer is playing the long game. I don't think she's manipulating him. But again, I could be very wrong. We still don't have access to the rest of the episodes. But it is an interesting question to pose. However, when I played through these first 2 episodes, like I was saying, I didn't see anything that told me that she was manipulating Mecha Man. She has some other underlying thing that she's looking for as to why she would be flirtatious or treat Mecha Man that way. If anything, it seemed like she was kind of iffy on letting us know that Phenomenon Man was her boyfriend, because maybe she had a crush on Mecha Man. Maybe she ended up kind of falling for his more soft approach. Clearly, Mecha Man is more of a superhero that has values, that has morals, that has honor, and he's trying to do things the right way, even though he doesn't actually have powers. Now, her boyfriend, Phenomenon Man, looks like a self-centered asshole. He looks like one of those heroes that's like a dick. And even though that interaction that we had the very first time that we met right now towards the end of episode 2, he seemed kind of easygoing, kind of nice, but there was like a hint of shit talking behind every compliment that he gave you. It was like kind of backhanded, right? He said something, oh, this is Robert Robertson. The way you spoke of him, I thought he would have been a lot bigger. Does his mind or something make up for the lack of muscles? So you kind of get what I'm saying. He was kind of being a dickhead, but at the same time not really coming off as a dickhead. So I don't know. It's just the way that he is. His personality seems to be a little bit iffy. And he even said to Blonde Blazer, this isn't one of the new guys that I've vetted for you, as if he was very controlling of Blonde Blazer. He was very like, who are you around? Who is this person? You can't do this. You can't do that. And that's a really interesting direction that they might go with this series, with the rest of these episodes. Phenomenon Man ends up inviting Mecha Man to Tokyo to have dinner with him and Blonde Blazer, but Blonde Blazer kind of tells Mecha Man, nah, don't do it. And, you know, I didn't do it. I said, okay. And then she ends up saying thank you. So I don't know if she's embarrassed. I don't know if something is going on that's a little rocky with Phenomenon Man, or they've been together for too long. You know, I think something happened between them, and now it's kind of falling on us because Mecha Man low-key clearly likes Blonde Blazer, and in my opinion, Blonde Blazer has something for him as well. Now, what's more interesting here is that with the episodes releasing weekly, there's also a comic book prequel series. There's 4 issues, and they are releasing with these episodes. Right now, I think there's access to the first 2 issues potentially of the prequel series, and it talks a little bit more about the characters and their motivations, and it gives you a little bit more of a backstory. It talks about Phenomenon Man and Blonde Blazer being together, and I think those prequel comics are super important to this story because they take place before what we're seeing. So I'm gonna get my hands on that prequel comic on all 4 of those issues very soon here, and I'm gonna read through them, and then we're gonna make a little lore video and talk a little bit about what those comics are saying and the story, so we can understand these characters and their motivations better. Now, maybe in those comics there's something that suggests that Blonde Blazer isn't as honorable, as loving, as caring as she might seem, because to be honest, Blonde Blazer is portraying this classic, light-hearted, good, fun superhero. Could it all be fake? Could it all be a show? Are her motivations more sinister than what they look like on surface level, and is Mecha Man in the middle of it? That's a really interesting question, because now you question everything and everyone. You question what's going on at the dispatch center, you question Blonde Blazer, you question Phenomenon Man. There's a lot of things and a lot of moving parts here, and the fact that everybody's kind of knowing that Mecha Man is Robert Robertson is, I think, an issue. And I think Mecha Man saying that he's been doing this for so long, for 15 years, it feels like, that he's made a lot of enemies in that time. So who knows? This could be a setup from the very beginning. But I thought it was interesting to have the conversation of Blonde Blazer potentially playing Mecha Man or using him in some way. Although I personally don't think that's the case. I hope that's not the case, but it could be. And so now you have to look at this game in a completely different light, and I'm super excited for episode 3 and 4 to release.